Now, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not saying that they listened, but on the 6th of May, I uploaded the AEW video saying that the Stadium Stampede mode should be free, and on the 6th of June, AEW took it a step further and the entire game is free for PS Plus members. I'm just saying. I'm sure these type of deals are complicated and are made months in advance, but until it is proven to me otherwise, my headcanon is that they listened. However, AEW Fight Forever becoming free was an opportunity to test out its multiplayer servers. I didn't have any such luck the first time around, but surely this time I'd at least be able to find a single match against a real human being. Since I said Stadium Stampede is the mode that would benefit the most out of the game becoming free to play, I tried it out first. Still, I wasn't expecting to be anything but disappointed, so I did the only reasonable thing I could do. I brought a friend because misery shared is misery doubled, or something like that. I was never good at maths. Since he's not a wrestling fan, I told him to pick blindly which wrestler he wanted, as I was curious to see which wrestler would appeal to a non-fan. He chose Tony the Pizza Guy, who isn't even a wrestler, completely ruining that test. He did eventually pick Christian Cage, and I don't know what he has against other people's deceased relatives, but he is who he is. You might have noticed that I haven't really talked about Stadium Stampede, and that's because there isn't much to say. We tried searching a duos match and only got bots, and then we tried the solos mode, where we found 2 other people in a lobby that could supposedly fit 30. We were promptly decimated by a max level Orange Caster user. So apparently, I was the only person excited to try out Stadium Stampede, so off I was to try the actual wrestling multiplayer modes. There isn't a lot to choose from here, and the game's small player base makes even that choice seem like a facade. I tried looking for matches in different modes, but I kept exclusively finding one-on-one matches. I did find one tag team match, but that just reminded me how much I hate tag team wrestling in this game. Searches usually took 1 to 2 minutes, as I presume the player base didn't see as much of an increase after the game became free, but still I could find matches on a consistent basis. Getting to the matches themselves, the netcode is smooth as silk. I felt no different than I would in single player, and AEW Fight Forever's netcode is miles ahead of WWE 2K24's. This game didn't get a lot of things right, but multiplayer stability is definitely something that it nailed down perfectly. It's shocking that this game has such a good netcode. After playing a few multiplayer matches, a big revelation hit me. I was having fun, a lot of it actually. Yes, problems from the rest of the game like pins, lack of feedback, and the general jankiness of it all persisted, but playing against another human being helped alleviate their impact on the experience. I had a lot of back and forth matches that flowed well in this mode. Apparently, the momentum bar felt slower here than in Road to Elite, and at that point, hitting a finisher did feel more like a natural conclusion to the match rather than an abrupt ending. I tried out a bunch of wrestlers and ended up using Malachi Black since his finisher looks like your opponent is hit by a shotgun blast. The last bit of praise I will give this mode is that after matches, you can attack your opponent similar to what a heel would do to gain heat in real life. Of course, some negative things I hadn't initially noticed about the game also sprung up. Corner strikes are either fully or borderline impossible to reverse, and I had some opponents repeatedly send me to the corner to punch me twice and repeat the process. You can start hitting your opponent during the countdown of the match starting, and I got a good kick out of that. Orange Cassidy for some reason is incredibly overpowered and has the ability to no-sell nearly every single thing you throw at him. The biggest problem this mode has though is that it's incredibly shallow. There's nothing to play for. Each match you play gives you money. This money can only be used in buying useless things from the in-game store and not much else. The other reason the game expects you to fight is your rank. Your rank rises or drops depending on how you perform in matches, but with no tangible rewards tied to it and no in-game leaderboards, I don't see much of a reason to play Fight Forever's multiplayer beyond a day or two. It's obviously the most fun you can get out of the game, but I don't see how it can compete with hundreds of other multiplayer experiences out there with so little incentive to play it. Although I prefer single-player games, I do have some multiplayer games in my rotation for when I'm not in the mood of paying attention to a story. But I don't see how I would play Fight Forever over FIFA, 2K, as bad as they currently are themselves, or even X-Defiant. Fight Forever's multiplayer, while decent, has the same problem as the rest of the game. It's incredibly shallow and won't hold you over for more than a few days. Since this will be the last video I make about Fight Forever, I just want to reiterate a point I made about the game and my previous video about it. The game was free on PS Plus, and I'm guessing many people downloading it would want to play with the wrestlers that have been the most successful over the past year. Here's the thing, do you want to play as the current world champion? That'll be $11. Okay, what about the previous world champion? $10. Fine, what about the women's world champion? $12. I'm sorry, but that's just shooting yourself in the foot. The wrestlers that are most likely to engage new players are locked behind massive paywalls. If there's any chance that somebody's listening there, please make the DLC wrestlers free or significantly cheaper, and if you have to sell something, sell cosmetics or arenas or anything but them. This game has potential. It's deeply flawed, but something is there. I could see a potential sequel succeeding if it is ever made, but there's still so much work to be done. A solid base is in there somewhere, and all that's left is fixing the major flaws we have discussed in detail on this channel and adding meaningful depth. This is obviously easier said than done, but I do have hope that this is something that can be achieved. And these were my thoughts on AEW Fight Forever's multiplayer mode. You guys voted on the next game I will be playing, so I'll get right to working on that video. I also had an idea for a secret bigger project, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, if you want to continue your wrestling video binge, click this video to see my full analysis on AEW Fight Forever. See you in the next one.